let's start the journey of your first programming language, that is Python. So guys, be prepared for it, and definitely I suggest that you will do the practice along with me, each and everything. Definitely it is this training is totally hands-on training for you. Each and everything we are covering with the very simple examples, and you will do practically those kind of the stuffs. So before starting this one, let's have the other things also, that what is the this is the agenda for today, that introduction to Python, what is the necessity of programming, what is Python and who created it, what Python can do, why should I learn Python in 2021, and what are the different important features. So as the James is also telling you, there will be some difficulty in just like configuring the things in your LMS and all these things. So we all are having this IDs and we are connected with this one. So definitely we will finish this lecture by today. Definitely I will revise this tomorrow's sessions also, and we will go ahead with the hands-on also. So don't worry about it, guys. Why do we need programming? This is very first thing. The answer is very simple, that you communicate with digital machines and make them work accordingly. If you want to do that, how to work with the digital machines and how I can communicate with any computers. So you have to understand their language, because computer is not understanding your language and you are not understanding the computer language. So there will be something in medium it is developed, and you can find that in programming world you have more than 800 plus language available right now, and it depends on your choice that which language I have to choose for my programming purpose. The important is that if you are searching in Google also, what are the top 10 programming languages, so you can find out that Python is in top right now. Previously it is not a new language, it is old language, but previously the ranking is downside. But right now you can find out there are a lot of libraries developed by so many guys, and it is being an open source language. Lot of development is in continuation going on, and lot of people are working for this. So you are getting so many very good library to use this one. This is very fast language also, and this is very easy to understand and you can learn very easily. Definitely lot of integrated development environment is available for the Python. You can use anyone, it depends on that which environment you want to use. But I suggest that as a practice you can directly, ideally you can use for which is by default it is coming, and then you can use Jupyter notebook, or might be if you want to use Visual Studio Code you can use that also. So that I will guide you that how to use different, there are so many things that you can, Anaconda is also, so there are different versions are available that you can download, and the latest version which in which we are working in the coming sessions. So just like the third one, which is every language is designed to fulfill the particular kind of requirement. That's why people are choosing language accordingly. Suppose you want to work for, say for example, iPhone, and you want to do the programming for that one. Definitely there will be another language. So you have to learn Swift for that one. Might be possible that you want to work for the cloud. So might be you are learning from the Visual Studio and .NET also, and you are developing some application in Visual Studio that will be you are implementing in the cloud. Might be somebody is using the Java, somebody is using Python also for that one. So there are a different language for the different purpose, and it is your choice that which language I have to use. On the basis of that you can use. But for the data science purpose and for the data analytics purpose, most of the cases people are using either Python or second language is R language. So definitely first choice is Python, very strong language. If we are going to the history of this programming language, or the generic, we can see that what is the history of programming language. You can find out that very 20-year back, 30-year back, or 40-year back, you are using C language, which is primarily designed by developed for the system softwares. And this is used for operating system development, or it is developed, it is used for the device drivers. So they are making the different kind of the device drivers by the help of C language, and definitely operating systems also developed for this by using the C language. And after that, because people are finding that in C language, there is a problem, which is a big problem, which is of security. So that is the biggest problem. And at that time, the new invention will be done, and it is C++ language was designed for removing different security problems with the C language. So the next step is, after C language, people are shifting to the C++ language because it is object oriented language, and it is also providing you the data security. So you can use to resolve different kind of the real world problems in C++ language. Lot of applications will be developed at that time, and it is definitely, it is faster and more secure, and it provides lot of data security. Like that, a few example I can give you that which will be developed in C++ language. That is Adobe Acrobat, which is very common. So many people are using Adobe Acrobat for reading the PDF files. Winamp Media for playing the MPEG player kind of things. So Winamp Media Player is also developed in C++. Even Internet Explorer is also developed. Mozilla Firefox. So many browsers is also developed in C++ language. So these are the few examples that this is programming history that is start with C language, then for the data security purpose, C++ language is developed. Now we are talking about Python. What is Python? So in a simple definition, Python is a general purpose and very powerful programming language. So this is one word, which is general purpose. So definitely the use of Python is very versatile. You can use this language for web development, for desktop development, for gaming application development, for cloud development, for Internet of Things development, IoT applications development with using of Raspberry Pi. You can develop so many cloud application by using this Python language. You can use this Python language for the data science purpose. You can use this for Python language for the data visualizations also, and data analytics also. So lot of libraries you can find out which is available in the Python language. And advantage why it is powerful. So powerful is that in other language, if you are writing, say for example, 100 lines code or might be 1,000-line code, but you can find out that in Python language, it needed, out of, suppose you are writing 1,000 line in other language, which is might be a C or C++ or might be C# or any other language. So in Python, the same task you can finish in 200 lines, or might be 100-line code you can write in 10 lines or 20 lines. So you can find out that it is very powerful. So you have to require a very less number of lines code for your program. So that's the advantage. It is considered one of the most versatile programming language, and you can develop any kind of the application, whether it is a desktop application, whether it is a web application, whether it is a mobile application, whether it is Internet of Things application, whether it is any kind of the data science project. You can utilize any type of the data analytics you can want to do, any kind of the visualization you want to do. So you can use this for CAD also, or for image processing, and so many other purpose. For gaming application you can also use. So that's why this language is very versatile, and second important is very powerful also. So less line required for writing any code for this programming language. Guys, the next question is that who created Python? So this is developed by the person whose name is Guido van Rossum. Basically, he was a Dutch scientist, and he created this language for Center for Mathematics and Research, Netherlands. And initially, basically, he expired with another programming language, which is known as ABC. That is the programming language name is ABC. So he inspired by this that language, and then after that he developed this language, which is Python. Only the thing is that the naming, that why he gave this name to Python. So this is very interesting scenario in which this Guido started Python development as a hobby in 1989. So just you can believe that it is approximately 32 years old language, you can say. Today is 1921, so it developed in 1989. So it's not a very new language, but the popularity is very, very less at that time. Other languages are also very much popular at that time, but you can see the ranking is changed now. And since last 2-3 years, you can find out that Python is in under 10 language, top 10 programming language or top 5 programming language. You can search in the Google list also. So the name Python is inspired from the Guido Fawkes comedy TV show, which is known as the show name is Monty Python's Flying Circus. So Guido is wanted, this name is short, unique, and slightly mysterious. So he decided to call the language Python, and that's why he is giving this programming language name Python. This way, this name is basically decided. And then this is right now, you can see that it is how much popular this Python name is right now. And it is very, very strong language right now. It's a top language, you can say, if you are finding out in Google that what is the first rank language of the programmer's choice. So you can find out everywhere Python. So that's why so many people, even from the, if you finding out in the US also or in the other countries also, they started the learning this language from the very lower class, like that 9, 10th, or like that from the school education. They started the learning and developing some gaming application and some desktop application and some even web applications also, or mobile applications also. So it is very, very popular, we can say now. And the advantage is that it is as I tell you, that it is very, very easy to learn. That's why the people are start learning this language in from the school levels also. That's the reason behind it. Now, if we are talking about what about the who manages Python today, so right now the things, because I already tell you in the start that it is a open source language. So this from version 2.1 onwards, basically Python is managed by Python Software Foundation, which is situated in Delaware, USA. And it is a non-profit organization devoted to the growth and enhancement for Python language. So that's why this is totally open source language, and so many peoples are basically developing lot of libraries which is embedded with this open source, and anybody can use that thing. That's the biggest advantage. Definitely the versioning is changed. Right now you can find out it's 3.9 onwards versions. You can find out in Google what is the latest version of the Python, so you can get it. So this is managed by Python Software Foundation, which is in Delaware, USA. Now what Python can do for you, and what are the different libraries and where you can use this Python language. This is very, very important, and this slide is very, very interesting also. You can find out there are a lot of graphics in this, and there is a NumPy. You can find out there is a Plotly, there is a PyGAME, Pygam, that is Django is also there. There is a GUI Tinklinter is also there. There is a BioPython also. There is the NLTK, which is natural language processing also. So a lot of things are there. So many other libraries also. There is a Pandas also. There is so many other things which is right now in current developments are already developed. So you can use those libraries. So in the left hand side, what you are seeing is basically different libraries which is available for you. And what is the meaning of library? Library means you can use that particular library, you can import in your program. Inside the Python, you can import it. The advantage is that whatever the things which is available in that library will be coming inside to your program. And those things already developed by someone. So lot of code is written for that already. And so many functions, built-in functions, or so many things which is already available for you to reduce your code, because you are directly using the library, and from that library you are using particular function for that particular task, and you are just using that one, and immediately that your work is done. So sometimes it is happening that when you are doing the data science, writing code for the data science, you can surprise that instead of writing 1,000 line code, I can finish my works in 20 lines or 30 lines. That's it. So that is the biggest advantage, that how you are utilizing different kind of the libraries, which is already available for you. So few libraries which is showing you NumPy. This is used for the scientific computing purpose. There is another library which is a Plotlib, or you can say it is Matplotlib. So this library you can utilize for your data visualization purpose. Any kind of the graphs you want to plot, whether it is a pie diagram, whether it is a bar diagram, whether it is any kind of the map diagram or a kind of histogram, or you want to compare some things, that you can do in Matplotlib, or you can just directly do the data visualization. So it is a complete language, you can say, inside it. In Python, you are importing one library, which is Matplotlib, and inside that there are some few functions for visualization of your graphs. Like that, I think that you are working in Microsoft MS Office, very common tool. Everybody is knowing that one, that how to prepare a presentation, or how to write a word or in a word, or how to use MS Excel. So MS Excel is also very, very popular and very powerful for kind of that. You can use the just like import the data in CSV format, and from that CSV format in your Excel itself, you can select the data, and then you can visualize that data in some kind of the graphics. So you can make a graph and kind of thing by selecting the data, and then give x-axis, then y-axis, then what is your data, and what type of the graphs you want to see. So many things you have to put. The similar kind of the thing you can generate in Matplotlib by writing 3, 4, 5 lines code, 6-line codes. And the things which you are giving manually there, just you are writing here, and your graph is immediately, it is created. So that's the power of this Matplotlib. So you can visualize any kind of the data by this library. There will be another library which is for use for the natural language processing, NLTK, very, very popular one. Another is web, for web framework. There is a Django library. There are Flask also. There are so many libraries available. So here are the few names. Definitely, when we go inside, when you are developing your first program in Python, and after that we are going in continuation, going advanced, then more advanced, then more advanced, reaching to the top level, definitely you will learn each and everything. You will learn NumPy also, you can learn pandas also, you will learn Matplotlib also, like those kind of stuff. So in Python also you can learn different basic concept of the programming also, and how to develop a program in Python language, and what are the different kind of the errors I can find out, how I can remove those errors in the Python language. This also you will learn each and everything from the basic. So after the left hand side, which is a few libraries which is just for your basically knowledge purpose, that Python is having so many libraries, and those libraries having inside so many built-in functions. So for each function, like that, you want to develop your own functions in a programming language, definitely for that purpose you have to write a code. Might be it is 10-line code, or might be 5-line code, might be 20-line code, might be 100-line code for that particular function. So that is already written for you. Only the thing is that you have to use one and just like pass the parameter and get the answer. That's why this language is very, very easy to learn. Only the thing is that you aware that which library I have to use for what purpose, and where I can use, and how I can go ahead and how I can write a less number of code inside this one, inside a program, and then I can execute it, and I'm getting a right result for that. So that you have to learn this also. So I will guide you that thing also, where to use, what to use. There will be, if we are talking about that Python, where you can use, so definitely, as I tell you, that you can utilize this for different kind of the development, whether it is a mobile development, whether it is a desktop development, whether it is a web development. So you can use for GUI application, you can use for different kind of the web application development, or the website, or the different kind of portals also you can use. So many framework is available, like the Django is there, Flask is there. So you can use those framework and automatically you can create your own website, and you can just like host that website also. You can use the language for the data analysis purpose. So definitely for data visualization, you have a Matplotlib library and you have to write some code, and you can use analytics the data also. So data analysis purpose, you can use Python language. For machine learning purpose also, you are utilizing the Python. So this is like that this course which you are doing is a complete data science course, and it is approximately, as already James sir is telling to you, it is of 200 hours course. So you, in which you will learn mixed merge combination, like that you learn the theoretical aspect also, you can learn the different practicals also, you have assignments also, so different tasks you have to do, and you have a projects also that you have to complete in the last also, an assignment you have to do time by time. So that will be your task in that. So machine learning is very, very important, definitely, which is a key part. And after completion of the Python language, when you are going to the data science purpose, that which library I have to use and how I can create a different kind of things in machine learning. So in machine learning, you will learn supervised learning, unsupervised learning. Then there will be different kind of the models also, which you learn, random forest model or the tree model or the another kind of the models you will learn in machine learning. So that is very, very interesting also. So in data science, it is very, very required that how to create, or how to basically create a model in supervised learning, or how to create a model in unsupervised learning, how I can use different kind of the regression, whether it is a linear regression or that is a logistic regression. So how I can create those kind of the models, and by the use of the Python language or by the use of the different library which is available for me, so that you will learn practically also. So at the time of that, I will guide you and you will learn those kind of the things. Next is Raspberry Pi, which is a very small POM type computer, and you can write the code with this, and you can utilize this for Internet of Thing purpose. And this is another that where you can use the Python. So you can use for developing different kind of the IoT application, which is Internet of Thing application, by using the Raspberry Pi as a small POM type computer, and you can write the code for that, and then that you will execute. So a lot of sensors and that things you will connect, and you can write the program and execute it, and you get the result on the screen also, and as well as in the same, if you are making some kind of the circuit, that how it is executed, and you can see that that will be working perfectly fine with the Raspberry Pi device. For IoT application, you can utilize and you get the data from there. You can also use this Python language for different kind of game development. So a lot of games which will be very, very popular, and you can use those also. There will be another tool which is for the GUI app you can use, which is PyQt Articular, which is built for the desktop application, and you can make a simple calculator or those kind of the stuff by using this. You can use for the different web application or web design development. For this, there is a library or the different framework, you can say, rather than library, it is a framework which is available for you. Either you can use Django, or you can use Paramage, or you can use Flask for different purpose, and you can develop different kind of the web applications in these frameworks. So these are the few examples. Definitely in the combination of different things also, like that you can might be use HTML, CSS, or might be use PHP language, or might be use Java query or Ruby on Rails. And in the combination of that also you are using Python also. That is also possible case in which you are using mixed merge language and mixed merge technology and getting the result top of the level. So definitely when you are using the Python, definitely HTML, CSS and Java query is the common thing which you have to use. But the other things also you can utilize for that development. Then if we are talking about that for the data analysis purpose, as I tell you that Python is the leading language of choice for many data scientists. As I tell you that it is most, when you are searching in the Google, it is most programmer's choice also, that Python is in the top. That's why Python is in the top rank you are finding out. It is the number one you can find out in so many places. So it is use by using the different libraries like that, there will be library which is available for you, which is NumPy, and definitely it is in your course also that you have to learn completely NumPy also. And there is another library which is Pandas, so this is also in your course. So definitely when you are reaching to this part, at that time you will learn completely NumPy in details. Also you will learn Pandas also, and this is used for definitely uh, by using with so many data scientist purpose for creating different tasks. And definitely you can use this NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib combination, skitlearns, these combination in your machine learning and for the data science purpose also. So definitely when your level is increased at that time, after learning this NumPy and Pandas and then Matplotlib, then you will create a model by using taking the combination of all these libraries and then creating the model, and that model you are visualizing and then you are using for your data science purpose or for machine learning purpose, in which you are using either supervised learning or unsupervised learning, and you are creating a linear regression or the logistic regression or a kind of random forest model, or might be some other task also, which I will basically show you after reaching to that level. So this is just generate things which we are asking that where to use, and you will understand that why you are learning this Python language, which is very first part for you as a making your career in data scientist, as a data scientist. Another thing, machine learning, which is definitely machine learning is about making your prediction with data. So that's the important role, and you can understand that it will be heavily used for your face recognition. Definitely a lot of other companies, Facebook, even Google, and so many other companies are using Python as a key language for different kind of the finding out by you creating a different algorithms in that. So for face recognition or music recommendation or movie recommendation, so Netflix, you can are in YouTube, how they are giving the different kind of the advertisement. When you are watching Netflix, suppose you are watching some movie, which is say for example horror movie, immediately it is showing you some new advertisement to you that you can watch this horror movie also. Might be you are watching some kind of the comedy movie, so it is showing you the different advertisement for the comedy movies also. How it is possible that immediately you are getting those kind of the relevant advertisement? Even in YouTube, you are searching something and you are getting the advertisement related. Suppose you are searching data scientist or data science somewhere in Google, and when you are watching some YouTube, immediately you are getting the advertisement that in YouTube you are finding out some data science ad. Some companies, those are giving the advertisement for you for the data science. Immediately it is basically they are populating that advertisement. So how it is possible? So real time data will be going there, and that in background this all thing is working, and they are just getting that what you are searching on the basis of your search, immediately that advertisement is pushing to you only. So it is a user base, so there is a combination like that, the so many users are connected in different with the IP address and all these things, and what the user is just like searching on the basis of that, immediately that program will be executed, and from the API it is going to the relevant advertisement, immediately it is showing to you for you as a dedicated advertisement. So that's the way. So that's why this machine learning is right now very popular, and you can find out the future in these technology like that. One technology is cloud, which is very popular, and lot of companies are migrating to the cloud. And the second is this data science and machine learning, which is very popular now, and every company is finding out the solution on the basis of that one, and they are implementing different kind of the machine learning process, or they are utilizing data science for so many tasks. That's why these fields are very popular, and you can say in next 10 year or 15 years you can get the continuously job in these fields. It's not like that this field is started and after 1 year or 2 year you are not getting the job. So it's not like that, because everything is migrated like that. In 5 year or 10 year down the line, if you are just like viewing or just like seeing that what the technology, so people are mostly users desktop application, or might be few people are using web application at that time. But right now, if you are seeing, everything is in web or in mobile application. So mobile application is also needed a hosted solution somewhere in the cloud, and desktop application is also needed. They are migrating this desktop application to the this legacy application to the cloud, and they are just like accessing from the cloud, because now the requirement is changed, because you are not doing the work only in one location. Like that, suppose you are in Chennai, or might be in Mumbai, or might be in Australia, might be in US, in one location, say New York, and you want to do the business there only. Then at that time, or you want to do the business there, and you want to utilize like that, I can use for the billing purpose, my desktop application is fine. Then it is okay, because you are want to in a limited condition, you are creating one application that is used for you only and in your premise only. And say for example, you are having one shop there, and at that, in that shop, the people are purchasing goods, and you are just creating a bill from there. So it is perfectly fine. But right now the situation is changed. Lot of e-commerce companies are coming, and they are doing the businesses not in single city, they are doing the business in multiple cities, multiple countries also. So like that, Amazon or Flipkart is doing the business in India and multiple countries, whole country. And like that, Amazon is doing the business in more than 140 plus countries. So their model is totally changed. Definitely they have to switch to the cloud. And then after that, they want to do the different kind of analytics. How it is possible? So analytics they can use by the help of this very powerful language, which is Python. Definitely they have to create some kind of a different model. So they have to create a different kind of algorithm, that I want to suggest a product to the guys. How I can, if you are watching some product, immediately they are pushing some kind of the advertisement. You can buy this product with this in the combination of this. So this is possible only through the machine learning kind of things, and that you have to create the model, and from that model you can understand the user, that what he is basically searching, and on the basis of that, immediately you are showing advertisement that you can buy that one, and they are increasing their sales and revenues from there. So that the way the people are doing. So total scenario is right now changed, and now you can say it is a multitasking. It is, you can have to do the business in multi location, multi countries, so many countries you have to do the similar kind of the business. Even it is multi currency. So definitely lot of model is already changed, and you have to aware for that also, that how I can scale the things. When it is a matter of scalability, then definitely cloud is also coming to the picture. So in scale, scale means basically you are doing the business only in one location, in one city, and in that city one location. But right now you are creating, in instead of one location, you are giving in 30 location in one city. So definitely now your scale is increased, and after that you are just like doing the city replication. So you are doing the business in multiple cities, and after that you are thinking that I want to the business in multiple countries. So your business is growing more and more and more like that. So you have to be scalable. So that all the things, when you learn that how I can do, so it is required that you have to understand machine learning also, how I can predict with the data, how I can find out face recognition, or how I can give the movie recommendation, how I can send different kind of the product recommendation to improve myself. Those kind of the things you have to think in that way. So Python has so many wonderful libraries for the machine learning purpose, which is SCIKIT, which is scikit-learn or scikit-learn, you can say, and it is another library which is TensorFlow. So many people are using this scikit-learn also, and so many people are using TensorFlow. These type of libraries also that you have to learn for machine learning purpose. Another thing which is, I already tell you that it is a Palm type computer, which is a credit card size computer, which is a Raspberry Pi device, which is already just you can see in this small box which is available, and this is connected with the keyboard and all these things. I can show you. This is the board, which is a Raspberry Pi board, which is this green one, and these red dots which is showing you here, these are the 40 points which are known as sensors also, which is the input and output device. And you can connect the different sensors with this also, and also different kind of the things, and you can write the program for that. And that coding for Raspberry Pi you can perform using Python also. This is the advantage, that if you are learning Python, so Python is the language which you can utilize for multiple things. Like that you can use the same language for web application, same language for mobile application, same language for game application, same language for machine learning, same language for data science, same language for Internet of Things. So many ways you can utilize the things by using different libraries. So this is a credit card size computer, and you can write the code for this one, and you can utilize this for so many stuffs for Internet of Things applications. As you can also write a different kind of games. So these are few popular games which I show you in the slides also, which is Bridge Commander and Civilization 4, Battlefield 2, EVE Online, or Freedom Force. These games are developed in Python language. A similar way, you can also develop different language. So lot of things, and you can use the library which is Pygame. So those people which are interested in developing gaming application, they can make their career in developing gaming application in Python language. Those are interested to become a data science, like that right now your batch is basically more focused on data science. So definitely we are very stick to that one, and we are using the libraries which are useful for the data science purpose and data analytics purpose. So definitely you become a complete data scientist after completion of this course. And definitely as far as industry need is concerned, you are completely ready within 6 months, like that in 200 hours training. It is very basically you can say a complete training for your data science to develop in that way that you can do anything for the data science or the machine learning purpose. You are basically get ready for that. And you have to definitely, along with me, you have to do the practical, and definitely whatever the assignment we are giving, that also you have to do. So it will be good, because most of the cases you can say it depends on your practice also and your interest also. What I am telling, if you are not learning properly, definitely you cannot write a code also. And if you are not learning the basics also, definitely it is very difficult to go to the advanced level. So just like I'm creating in such a way that from the very basic things you have to approach in that way, then go to the little bit more advanced, then more advanced, then more advanced, and you can complete the task. You become a complete data scientist. Guys, these are the basically graph I am taking in the 2020 start, and you can see that percentage of language used in the world. So you can find out the Python is used 25.7% all over the world. JavaScript is used 17.8%. Go is the another language which is popular language, 15%. TypeScript and Kotlin, you can see 11%. Rust is 9.5%. C++ 9.1. WebAssembly 8.9 and Java 8.3. So just see that users for the other language is little bit downside, but the same thing if you are seeing 5 year back or 7 year back scenario, you can find out that Java at the top of the level, in which right now you can finding out Python. So Python is in the first position, which is 25.7%, which is in 2020. And you can find out the graphs in 2021 also, because it is just like 1 month it is going to be end. So you have a complete graph, how many percentage or how many people's percentage in the world people are using Python language. So definitely it is in the top level. So it is fastest growing language. It opens a lot of doors to you. It is used for so many big corporates like Google, Facebook, even Microsoft is also using for the cloud development also you can use. And in Visual Studio, they are also giving that you can use Python for key development. So a lot of corporates are using this as a preferred language. That's why you can find out in jobs also that you have a very expert in the Python language also. So you can say that Python is the future, and that's why you are learning this language as a key language. So these are the few companies, those are using Python language, which is Yahoo, Google, YouTube, Reddit, BitTorrent, IBM, Dropbox, Red Hat, Netflix, Quora, Firefox, and so many. Lists is very, very high, are very big, we can say. And if you are thinking that I can just list out so many companies, every company is using, might be some companies are using very, very basically as a preferred choice as a Python, or they are using that new development is in Python, but the old development is something else. So because old development is also important, because if it is they are shifting that complete development to Python, it is very, very difficult task. It's a huge product, so project, and so many people are using that product, for example. So immediately they cannot switch that product to the Python language. Whatever the new development will be coming, that they can use, or might be possible in that particular product they want to use implement machine learning, or want to use data kind of the different kind of the visualization, or might be some kind of the machine learning they want to use. Definitely they will use Python as a key language at that time. So it is a combination that might be possible that somebody is making product in different language, but for the other purpose they are using Python as a key language for new development or the new things. Guys, if we are talking about the different features of the Python, what are the different features of the Python? So these are the lists, in which very number one is simple. So the very first feature of the Python language, that it is very, very simple language, very easy to use language. That's why it is very simple one. Second feature is dynamically typed. Anybody can tell me what is this meaning, dynamically typed? If it is vice versa, then it is good, guys.
Oh, yeah, sir.
Yeah. Anybody can tell me what is dynamically typed? No issue. I will give you the complete detail for each and every points. These are the points which is, it is a robust language also. It is supports multiple programming paradigms. It compiles as well as interpreted language. It is a cross-platform language also. It is extensible also. It is embedded language also, and it is having extensive libraries also. So these features which we are talking about, basically we will go with detail each and every things we can do. So till this point, guys, if you are having any questions, let me know from your end. Definitely this we will cover from the we'll keep as it is, and we will do this for tomorrow lectures. So initially I just revise in 5-10 minutes each and everything, and then after go with this, and then we will start the practicals also. So tomorrow you will install that language also in your machine. Just search in the Google Python, and then after that you install the Python language, and then after that we will do the hands-on. So I will show you that how to install this language, how to utilize different kind of the integrated development environment, which environment is good for you, which how you can use that one. Till guys, let me know that if you are having any questions, tell me.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, tell me. Hello. Yeah, I am listening your voice. Hello. Yeah, you are audible.
Okay. So in terms of libraries, So are we going to cover only for data science, or it is like we will be covering the libraries of machine learning and other features as well?
No, no, data science, you will learn so many things. It's not only Python language. There are a lot of things other, which you also learn. After learning the Python, because this is very first start, so you have to learn the Python language. After mastering of the Python language, we will go to the next step, which is used for your machine learning and data science purpose. After that, you will you utilize or you will learn the other tools also. Might be R language also you will learn. Definitely you will learn Microsoft Power BI, or there will be another tools which is available for the data science purpose, that also you will learn. So it is a complete 200 hours course. It's not like that you will learn in 200 only Python. So you will learn lot of things because it's a complete dedicatedly you are learning for the data science purpose, right? Hello guys, my voice is clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Any question from your end?
Sir, how is a data scientist different from a data engineer?
There is a little bit difference in data scientists and data engineers. The job of data engineering to basically collect the data and just filtering the data. So they are just like doing the different tasks through the machines like that, rather than we can say just like visualizing or creating a different algorithm and then after that getting some results. So I will tell you that also, that how this will be defined. And suppose from your batch somebody is interested in data engineering, so what the things is needed for getting that also. Lot of tools are also available for data engineering also. So the field is differ, data science is differ, data engineer is differ. Any question, guys?
No, sir.
Any question from your end?
No, sir.
I think that I'm not getting your introduction. If we have a time, then please give me your introduction. That what is your background, and if you are knowing any programming language, just tell me in short. We have a time. Yeah, one by one immediately. It's taking only 5 minutes to give your all introduction from your end also. So it is good for me also. And what's your thought process that you want to become a data scientist or you want to become a data engineer? Because data engineer is a different field, as I tell you. You are managing that, basically playing with the data and managing the data. So basically, how to keep the data and how to just filter those kind of the data stuff, which required a different skills. Like that, you have to be a SQL server very strong, and the other tools which is available for the managing the data that will be required for that. Storing data, moving, processing data, these kind of the things which is required. So that is a different field. So let me know from your end. I want to. voice is not clear. Francis Javier.
Hello.
Hi, Francis. This is Girish here. Your voice is not clear. Prati, is the session for the day done completely?
Yeah, session is done for today's because I think it is up to 8, right?
Yeah, it was up to 8. Since it is an introduction session, let's have it up to 8 alone today. Maybe we can start a little bit earlier tomorrow so that like students can introduce themselves. I think like they would have planned up to 8 today.
Yeah,
So-
sure.
Yeah.
No issue on that.
So I hope that this session was fruitful, and this is only an introduction session where we are going to know only about Python over here, Python language, where the sessions going forward will be more advanced for you to know different techniques that has been used as a data analyst here. So I hope students like you will be ready for the tomorrow session, which is going to start by 6 o'clock. So the further details will be cascaded to you by Janani, and I'll also keep in touch with you all. So thanks for joining this session.